Listen, the turret tower you built, it sucks. I can't blow that thing without your tower firing a single shot. And you will cry while I steal all your ARBs and element. Hello Dodo crew and welcome back for another video on Ark Survival Ascended. Today we are going for 10 more tips and tricks for playing PvP, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. A week ago, I was called a cheater, because I dropped the tower without the tower shooting a single shot. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, and hell no, I was not meshing. Frick meshes. But how did I do it then? It was a pretty big tower, had a lot of turrets, and it was capped with ARBs and element shards. It basically was the average turret tower you can find on YouTube. It had pretty strong foundation support, and if I would have had to run or soak it, it would have been a big pain because of the TEK. And for real, I probably would have aborted the raid if the tower didn't have the classic flaw most YouTube towers have. The tower had a floating generator. I mean, protecting the generator in the center of the tower sounds pretty smart. If people try to run your tower or drop stegos on top of it. What sounds like a smart idea is the downfall of your tower. By building your tower like this, you give your enemies the chance to destroy your tower with ease, by simply sniping your generator with a freaking cannon. It is pretty tedious, because for real, cannons are a pain to aim. But if you're locked on your target, you can drop even the strongest towers with less than 100 cannonballs in no time at all. Cannons do not deal that much damage. On an average they do between 300 or 700 damage to metal. But this can be enough to drop the ceiling the generator was placed on in no time. If you're raiding and you see a tower like this, get out your cannon and simply snipe the generator. This will be way faster than tanking all of the turrets, and in the end, after all the turrets are turned off, you can easily scavenge the ammo. And if you're building a tower, think about how you can protect your tower against people sniping with cannons. Build a TEK force field, hide your generator under your tower, or find some other creative way, but do not simply lose your tower by getting sniped with a cannon. If you want to know how to build a turret tower that cannot be destroyed by a simple cannon, tell me in the comments. After I dropped the tower and cleared off some spam to push my FOB, I went straight into the cave, just to see that there were misplaced TEK turrets all over the cave. At first glance, those turrets look fine, but their placement is pretty bad. Without using a single dino, I was able to soak all the turrets between the entrance of the cave and the first large building area in the cave without getting hit a single time. Using mesh structures like crystal or stalactites, you can shadow tank turrets, meaning they will aim and shoot at you, but hit the mesh in front of you. This works for all types of turrets and even plant species X, and it is the easiest to shadow tank TEK turrets because of their splash attack. Even if turrets do not hit you if you're shadow tanking, you should still wear some high tier armor and have some Metabros with you, because finding the right angle can be a bit tricky if you're tanking more than one turret at the same time. And because Ark is Ark, from time to time small resets can push you into turrets. So, how are you doing this? You basically have to find a mesh structure like a crystal that is between you and the turret you want to shadow tank. Then you're moving behind that crystal so that the turret has line of sight to you but does not shoot at you. You can see that the turret has line of sight if the turret tries to aim at you. Then very slowly move further into line of sight and look at the turret until it starts shooting at you. If it hits you, you went too far and you need to try again, because you need to hit that sweet spot where the turret shoots at you but hits the crystal in front of you. You can also use a shield to find the sweet spot if you do not have enough high tier armor or you do not want to yeet your best flak for this. I mean, you know this. If you already follow my channel, you know that I play with an eye and I use comments to improve my experience and get better in PvP. If you're not using comments, you're pretty much done playing PvP, because everyone else will use comments and they can see and kill you before you even know that they're close to you. Using comments and eye files helps you to see better in PvP, double your overall performance and have more stable FPS. Some consider this cheating, but if you do not have a high-end PC and still want to play ASA, then you need to use some of those comments or even write an eye file. If you want to know how to write an eye file or which comments you should use and how you can use them, you can watch some of these videos. I get asked a lot if I publish an eye file to remove trees and meshes. I found some configs to do that and already reported them to Wildcard, because they can be used on official and unofficial. Don't even ask. I won't make them public, because I do not want to support people using this and I'm sure they will be patched pretty soon. Okay. Did you know that your body consists of 70 to 80% of water? This means that you're basically closer to being a lake than to be a human being. When playing Ark for hours, and I know you do that, Most of us play at least 4 hours in one sitting and do not drink enough water. After hours, your body is craving for some water and you simply swoosh down some sugary crap. Every time you drink water in-game, you should also take a big sip of your water. Drinking enough water during gaming sessions helps your brain to properly work, stay focused and make the right decisions when you're getting into trouble. Throw away that sugary crap you're drinking all the time, get a big bottle of water and chuck that thing down and you will become better at playing PvP. And if you want to go all out, throw away the donuts and all the other crap and prepare some apples to snack while playing. If you're not sure whether you can safely enter a cave, or if you want to check the tower your enemy built, you must use photo mode. In photo mode you have access to a free floating camera with which you can scout your surroundings. Although the radius of movement is limited, it is sufficient to look around corners or identify weak spots in your enemy's defense. However, if you have TEK binoculars in your hand and switch to photo mode, the functions of the binocular and the photo mode are combined. This means that with the current combination of these two functions, you can switch to a free floating TEK binocular, which you can use to view your opponent's dinosaur stats, the health of the structures, and even do some wall hacking and take a look behind enemy defenses. You can combine the two by equipping the TEK binocular and then right click to view something. If you now switch to photo mode, you still have all the options that your binoculars gave you before. Many people underestimate the power of buffs in Ark. When playing PvP, many buffs can help you to massively get ahead of your enemies. I won't go into details, but you should at least have Shadow Stake and Battle Turret equipped if you're leaving your base. Shadow Stake is essential if you're sniping your enemy because it keeps your aim stable. Battle Turret makes you run faster and take less damage. If you're going for caves and do not have a pyromine, you should always have some cactus broth with you to reduce the aggro of enemies. And if you're crafting items from blueprints, always use focal chili to craft better gear. There are so many useful buffs like Swamp Fever you can use to dominate your enemies that it would take too long to cover them all in this video. If you want a full-blown video on buffs, tell me in the comments. Okay, I'm guilty. It took me roughly 10k hours of playing Ark to actually understand how you correctly unmount yourself from dinos. Some friends tell me that I'm a slowpoke, and thanks to Finch I had a slowpoke moment. I always get toxic if I unmounted to the wrong side of my dinos, not knowing that I can control on which side I'm unmounting by pressing the right buttons. If you're playing on PC, you can decide on which side you want to unmount by either pressing A and then the unmount key to unmount to the left side of your dino, or pressing D and the unmount key to unmount to the right side of your dino. Especially if you're playing solo or small tribes. Don't waste time on farming and upgrading your base for 2 hours. Farm explosives for that 2 hours instead and raid small bases. Most of the time it will be worth and pay off for you. Learn to spot weaknesses in bases. Most people have bad turret placement and sometimes you can even avoid all of the turrets by smart moves. 90% of players simply see a base with turrets and think that that base cannot be raided. Every base can be raided, and even the strongest bases have errors in their defense. There is a way around the turrets, and you have to find it. Don't be afraid to PvP. Go for it, and it will pay out for you in the end. One of my biggest flaws is confidence. I'm too overconfident and I regularly find myself in situations where I have to fight 2v1s and 3v1s because I cannot shut my mouth while playing PvP. In these situations, you have to go for the easy kill. Every kill you can get is one person down, and if you're outnumbered, you need to get the enemy's numbers down as fast as possible. One by one, fighting less people makes the fight easier. But this means you always have to go for the easy kill first, even if the kill is noobish. Enjoy the game. Ark is fun, and honestly, even if I lost stuff during PvP, I never felt like I lost much. Every time I built a base and I got destroyed, or I faced an enemy and got killed, I learned some valuable lessons. So you can't really lose in this game, as long as you do not give up. I hope you liked this video, and I'm thrilled to read what tips you would place in your top 10. Hit the like button, leave a comment below for the algorithm, and consider subbing to the channel. Alright, Frodo.